Okay, so I trust this is recording, and if not, I'm going to make a recording here and put it onto the general education website in the training portion, and I can also share it with you via, well, it's probably going to be too big to email, so I'll put it on the website and give you a link. I'll send a link to you via email. So I've made a few handouts because that is just the way I am. And I want to walk you through sort of the process that's envisioned for reporting data. I'll point out that while I'm General Education Coordinator, I'm just another faculty member. I'm just trying to make your job easier and to standardize the data that we collect so that the data that we do get will have the biggest impact, so we get the biggest bang for our buck. Since we're going to have to do this anyway, we might as well get the best data that we can. So it's not meant to be, onerous. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. So if things are confusing, please tell me, because I'm too close to it. It's hard for me to see sometimes. And that said, I'll walk through some of these handouts. The complete beginning to end for recording general education data has 7 steps, and we're already halfway done. So in this sheet, basically describes the 7 steps, and there are links that are live on the PDF, obviously not in your paper, but this document is available in the training session, or the training section of the website, and you can get the PDF copy, and all the links are live. So as you're reading it online, you can click right to where you want to be. Step 1 is each semester, we're going to collect some general education data. We're going to pick one outcome each semester, and we have a schedule. This semester, we're doing Ferris Learning Outcome 3 across all of the different parts of Gen Ed. Next semester in the spring, we're going to do number 4. And then next fall, we'll do number 1, so that in a 2-year cycle, we'll get through all of them. Doing more than one in a semester tends to be a bit of extra work, and you get problems in, it's hard for people to separate the two things in their mind, and you get a little bit of afterglow effect when you try to do that, where a strong student will score strong on both just because you've got a good feeling for them, even though they might not have performed equally well on both, but that's what it is. So step 1 is done for you. We're doing outcome 3. Step 2 is we each, in our courses that align to a Gen Ed, have to select a measure. So to simplify things and standardize it, the General Education Committee defined 14 different kinds of measures that could be used by faculty to assess, and they're described, maybe it's on the second page of this one, there, second page for you. There are the 14 different things. So you look at your assignments and you go, well, we're doing outcome number 3. What do we do in our class this semester that best aligns? You're the content. Yes, sir.
So recently Robert Barnum got a hold of me. And his challenge has been for him, he says, it's not like there's exams, there's not like there's
correct.
There's speeches, that there's art, there's artifacts, there's
right.
products.
Right.
And so his question was, how do I deal with that as an assignment? And I made some suggestions to you, and I copied that email to you.
Right.
But if Robert were here right now, and we are recording this,
yes.
Robert will be able to access it. If Robert were here right now, what might you suggest to him?
Well, these 14 things fall into 3 different categories. Exams are obviously one of them, because some people, especially in like the sciences and math, we use a lot of exams. So the first 4 are actually exams. We have selected response, which is multiple choice, true, false, where the students don't really create anything, they're just picking from choices. Number 2 is constructed response, which is like short answer essay. And fill in the blank. 3 is a pre-test, post-test. If people are giving an instrument twice in the semester and they want to use that, that's where they would use it. 4 is using a standardized test like in chemistry they use the ACS, the American Chemical Society, standardized exam that gives percentiles against the nation. So we have 4 different kinds of tests, but the other 10 things are not tests. The next chunk of about 8 are student products, things the students produce. So 3 of them are papers of short, medium, and long length. The reason we split those up is because in the NESI, they ask students, do you write long papers, short papers, medium papers? We'll be able to see in our Gen Ed if we're actually assigning those and look against NESI and see if NESI's telling us the truth or not.
What is NESI?
I'm sorry, the National Survey is Student Engagement. It's a standardized national test we give our students every other year. It's a attitude kind of assessment. And they ask the students, what kinds of things are you doing in your class and how do you think they're working for you? So it's a indirect measure. And they'll be giving that again this year.
Who's they?
That would be the Provost's office, the Associate Provost of Assessment and Accreditation, Robbie Tian, spearheads that.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the difference between number 2 and
Number 2, a constructed response, and 5, short written report. A short written report is meant to be more of like a 1-page paper, 1 to 2-page paper, where it isn't like a 5-page. A medium would be like your 5-paragraph essay.
Right.
And a long one, we all know what that is. Sometimes we have short reports, like in science. We just have them do like a short topical report, which is different than like a constructed response exam where we'd have maybe 10 short answer essays.
But they all start with a prompt.
They all start with a prompt.
Okay.
It is not a bright line between these things. It's kind of a gradation. And you're free to pick and say what you, yeah. So we have these reports. A student project is probably what Robert Barnum would be doing, where a student is creating a tangible product, like a 3D printing or a business plan or a work of art. You know, that's a student project, and that broadly written is probably what he was looking for, and that's probably where I would have stuck his stuff if he asked me.
And then I made suggestions to him on a rubric and what that might look like
Mhm,
as well.
mhm.
So that would be appropriate for what he's doing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have lab reports, student portfolios, capstone. And then the last 3 are actually not student products per se, but we're looking at the student performance. Because in the performing arts and in other places, we care about what the student performance is, whether it's giving an oral presentation or an interview or whatever. So we do exams, products, and performances.
I'm hearing part of the differentiation between student performance and, say, student project is one is the creation of the student, the other is the performance of the student.
That's correct.
So public speaking, we're looking and evaluating persuasive speech was not only a product of the student, but also a performance of the student.
Mm-hmm.
Your recommendations for which is most appropriate?
I will defer to you as the content expert as to which you
But
interpret.
These are the definitions of the categories.
Mm-hmm. Yep, broadly written, and giving you the latitude to say this is what we mean. There isn't a wrong answer. We're just trying to create bins where we can collect data. Yes.
I asked you this yesterday.
Yes.
About the being able to change.
Yes.
Our problem is that for some of us, we're still kind of teasing out the syllabus
Sure.
and determining what's going to be the SLO, at least for our programs. Not to mention, now you haven't tried to hit us up for Gen Ed, thank God, but it's still the same kind of strategy that we're being asked, sometimes a little tiny prematurely,
Yes.
before the syllabus has been finalized and whatnot. So Gary and I both felt relieved when I shared with him that you said nothing was written in stone,
Right.
and we could email you. But
Yes.
surely you don't want to be getting lots and lots of emails from faculty who found that, I was supposed to turn in this information on December 1st, but now that it's January 30th and I've really got my class all laid out, it's a much better time for me to tell you what's going to be my SLO for the program
Right.
or for Gen Ed.
I know that this first time there's going to be a lot of uncertainty and people wanting to shift, and you're right, I would rather not have a lot of emails, but I'm happy to take the emails
Okay.
and adjust, realizing, guys, this is never going to be perfect, okay? We're not shooting for perfection. So
This is a good faith effort then.
this is a good faith effort, and nobody's going to ding you for trying, and there aren't really wrong answers, and if it's a little messy, it's a little messy. At least we got our first try at data, and we'll get better. So this is meant to be our very first systematic attempt at collecting data, and we're going to do our best. And I'm going to report back what we get, and I promise not to make anybody look bad. We're going to just report out what we find, and we're going to have a discussion about it, and then we'll try to do it again. And I'll be giving you a survey as faculty once we're done, January 19th, and everything's in, and we're all, whew, thank goodness that's done. I'm going to send you a survey and say, okay, tell me about how that went, what was confusing, what was scary, was it as bad as you thought, what are some suggestions you have for me, and then I'll tweak the process in response, because this isn't a fixed thing either. I mean, we've got to adapt and find what works for us. So, yep.
Is it going to be the practice that at the end of a semester, we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do the next semester, or is that just a first year thing?
Well,
it's kind of a hard time right now,
right.
grading papers and that, to figure out what I'm going to do next semester.
It'd be nice if now you were, at least it was in the back of your mind for next semester that, hey, we're going to do number 4, and thinking about it as I'm building my syllabus, what kind of things might or might not fit, but I'm not going to lock you down yet, because you're not going to have to actually commit until, mid part of the semester and say, hey, I'm registering this. So as you're building your semester out, the first few times we're going to have to do some thinking after we've selected. Probably, if you're like me, my syllabi stay kind of constant in their core, and I kind of have an idea of, yeah, that assignment's probably going to work. I'm going to use that one. But I'm not sure how your world is, because not all of our worlds are the same. We teach different topics, and when I do a new prep, like I'm doing a new prep this semester, yeah, I know it's a lot of work. I feel your pain. This is for we're talking Gen Ed. There was some talk about program, but I'm not talking program here today, unless you want to talk program, and then I'll defer to the dean. But that would, I don't want to confuse the two, and I'm trying to pull myself back so that I just represent Gen Ed, because it's gotten a little confusing.
And that's the purpose of this meeting today, so let's stay with this.
Yes.
As best we can.
But do you want something today for next semester? We're not.
You won't need anything for next semester until next semester, probably toward the area where you turn in your midterm grades.
Okay. All right.
But you will need to register at the beginning of the semester, right?
The registration will open near the beginning, but won't be due until midterm grades. So you have that whole first part of the semester to decide. And then, like we're doing now, your data collection, I'll let it roll past the break. So data collection for this fall is due January 19th. So you don't have to worry about trying to do this data collection during finals week. You don't have to do it during Christmas break. You can come back from